Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning walk. Hey, for first-time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings and I share my thoughts with you guys, whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day. Hey, but it's a little chilly here, chilly for us this time of the year. It's about 45 degrees. So I have to bundle up. Nice blue skies, nice sun, but just a little cool for us. I know this is nothing for the people up north, but for us, yeah, this is nice little cool weather here. But yes, so if you like what you hear, you could always go on YouTube. I have lots of other of these little talks on YouTube. You can go on there, find something you like. While you're on there, you can subscribe on there. I know a lot of people don't know how to do that, but when I send a YouTube link throughout the day, you can click on that link, or you could go on YouTube and search for Gregory Wiles. That's W-Y-L-E-S. The channel is going to come up, and then you can see the word subscribe in red. You can just press on that, and when it changes color, you know your subscription went through. It don't cost anything. That's going to help me build up the channel, and when I get I think it's 1,000, I can go live on both platforms. All right, but good morning, Tessa. Good morning, John Balgobin. Good morning. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, but I know we started this week and we started out talking about the alcohol. So I'm going to conclude. That was a big teaching, and I just had to split it up in certain parts. But today, I just want to focus on one more case where a next prominent person in the Bible had used alcohol to take advantage of someone. They used it as a weapon to take advantage of someone. So what I'm saying, if your choice is to engage in having a drink, which is okay, which God allows for you to have a drink, you just got to be very, very careful, and be cautious and be very responsible, because people will and can and will use it to take advantage of you, right? So you just got to be careful. Remember, we did with the story of Lot. When Lot owned daughters, obviously he had a problem with it, and they use it against him to take advantage of him. So we can go through a story here, which we can have a lot of, there's a lot to learn from this story here, but I'm going to just focus on a little piece about how this prominent king tried to use alcohol to take advantage of someone when all of his other tricks did not work. He tried to use alcohol, and that's what the enemy would do. That's why we got to be careful. The enemy can use this beautiful thing that God created for good. He can entice people to use it, if you have a problem with it, to use it for to cause you to sin, right? So let's take this story of David and Bathsheba. David and Bathsheba, right? David and Bathsheba. I know we heard the story, but maybe we overlooked a little part when David tried to use alcohol to take advantage of this guy. So let's look at this story here. Let's look at this story here quickly and see what we can learn from it. This is, I didn't write down the scripture here. I don't know why I didn't do that, but anyhow, who know this scripture, where the scripture is, can put it up for me. I have the story, but I didn't put where you can find the scripture. Anyhow, it's in the spring of the year when kings normally go out to war. David sent Joab and the Israelite army to fight the Ammonites. They destroyed the Ammonite army and laid siege to the city of Rahab. However, David stayed behind in Jerusalem. Late one afternoon, after his midday rest, David got out of bed and was walking on the roof of the palace. As he looked out over the city, he noticed a woman of unusual beauty taking a bath. He sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told she's Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Then David sent messengers to get her, and when she came to the palace, he slept with her. You see this? He found out this woman is married. You see, this woman is very beautiful. Very beautiful. And he like, who's this woman? He said, man, this is who she is. She's married to this guy. Now, She know the woman is married. He still sent for her and slept with her. You remember when we did about Abraham, why Abraham was lying about his wife Sarah was his sister, because this is what he was afraid of right here. This is what Abraham was afraid of. So you see why Abraham lied twice, right? They didn't make it right. But this is what he was afraid of right here. That we can get down a little bit into this story, is that these kings see his wife is so beautiful and they want to take her for themselves, right? And if he become a problem, they might want to get rid of him. So let's see how this story play out. So he sent for her. David sent for messengers to, when she came to the palace, he slept with her. She had just completed the purification rites after having her menstrual period. Then she returned home. Later, when Bathsheba discovered she was pregnant, she was pregnant, she sent David a message saying, I am pregnant, or I'm with child, some other translation said, right? So he get in this adultery, trying to wipe his mouth clean, as you would say, and now she's pregnant. He didn't prepare for that, right? He didn't prepare for that. So now he got to go in this defense mode now. He got to try and see how I'm going to cover this stuff up. There's an ex-my wife. She's pregnant. And now I got to cover this. This man is at war. This man is at war, so he can't say, well, you know, is this child, how his wife get pregnant when he's at war? So the king got to think now I can use my powers to cover this stuff up. So let's see what he did here. Then David sent word to Joab, send me Uriah the Hittite, because he found out this was this man's wife, right? You remember? Send me Uriah the Hittite. So Joab is the army commander, sent him to David. When Uriah arrived, David asked him how Joab and the army was getting along. He's making small talk, you know, and man wonder why the king sent for me. No, he's just making small talk. How is the army getting along? How is the war progressing? Then he told Uriah, go home and relax. Because he know if he go home, most obviously he'll wait so long, he's going to want to have sex with his wife. So if he do have sex with his wife, he can say, well, okay, is when the guy come home and he had sex with his wife, that's how she got pregnant, right? He's trying to pass off his sin. That's why he sent for this man, all right? So David even sent a gift with Uriah after he had left the palace. So why all of a sudden you bring this man from war, Roger Hamilton, good morning. You bring this man from war and treating him good. He's just another soldier. All of a sudden, in the middle of a war, you send for this man and sending him gift and sending him home, right? So you got to be a little suspicious, right? But Uriah did not go home. He slept that night at the palace entrance with the palace guards. This man like, I can't go home for whatever, you know. He can go home. So let's see what go on here. When David heard that Uriah had not gone home, he surmounted him and asked, what's the matter? Why didn't you go home last night and be away after being away for so long? Why you didn't go home? You're at war for so long. You should be glad to go home and be with your wife, bro. What's going on? You sleeping at the palace gate here and I send you home? You so long away from the war. Don't know if you got a year or what. But you're supposed to be glad to run home to your wife, right? Uriah replied, the ark and the armies of Israel and Judah are living in tents, and Joab and my master's men are camping in open fields. How could I go home to wine and dine and sleep with my wife? I swear I would not do such a thing. So this man was such a committed soldier. He like, my buddies, them at war right now. It's not right for me to go home and having fun with my wife. I need to be at war with my buddies. We live together. We die together. We fight together. War is going on. I'm a soldier. This is what I sign up for. I just can't go in the middle of the war when my guys there risking their life and I having fun. No, I'm a soldier. I need to be out there with my buddies. I'm not going home. I feel guilty. This is a committed soldier. This man is committed to his job. He's serious with what he signed up for, right? So the man said, I can't do that. I swear I'd never do such a thing. Well, now the king said, shoots, that didn't work. No, that did not work. So now I got to go into our next. This is telling us, guys, if we really look at these stories in the Bible that God show us through these people, they're just like us, making the same mistake, doing the same things. But if we really look at these stories and study them, we'll avoid a lot of these mistakes what these people make. This is nothing new, right? People doing this, having adulterous affairs, having children, and they're trying to cover it up, and they're trying to deny them and all of that. We did stories about that when this guy was, you know, the spiritual rejection, right? They're trying to reject this child because they got denied, because they got their own families and they want their wife to know. This is nothing new, but if we really look and study these stories, we could avoid a lot of the mistakes, right? But that's not the one I really want to focus on today. Since we're talking about alcohol, I just want to focus on the little part that's coming up now. Well, after they didn't work and the man didn't go home, he said, okay, I got to do something else here now. So let's see what he did. Well, stay here today, David told him. Stay here today. Stay at the palace. Okay, you don't want to go home. Stay at the palace, David told him, and tomorrow you may return to the army. So Uriah stayed in Jerusalem that day and the next. Then David invited him to dinner. David thinking, now what could I do now? How could I get this man to go home? I got something here for him now. Then David invited him to dinner and got him drunk. Listen, that's the part I want to get to. Invited him to dinner and got him drunk. But even then he could not get Uriah to go home to his wife. Again, he slept at the palace entrance with the king's palace guard. So he used this alcohol, guys, to get this man drunk so he can go home and cover up the sin that he committed, right? So he used alcohol, and that's the part I want to get to. You probably overlooked, probably heard the story many times, but you didn't pay attention to this little piece. But he used the alcohol to get this man drunk. Mavis, good morning, cuz. Good morning, how are you doing? He used alcohol to get the man drunk so he can go home, hopefully sleep with his wife and cover off this sin that he had committed. So I'm telling you, you got to be careful with the alcohol. God made it. It's a beautiful thing. He made it for us to be happy. But if you're going to engage in it, be careful. Don't trust no one. Don't trust no one. Don't trust your company around you. Don't trust anyone. Don't leave your glass. People can put stuff in. He used the alcohol. Wilma Freeman, good morning. He used this to get this man drunk, right? And guys, do you know, quickly, you remember who was the child that came out of this relationship? Who was the child that came out of this adulterous relationship? That was the famous King Solomon. Let me refresh your memory. That was the famous King Solomon, right? That was the famous King Solomon. But I'm going to shed a little light, other than the alcohol part that he used to get him drunk, guys. He used this tool. So you see, the enemy is going to, you know, this beautiful thing that God created, but you know how easy it is for us to sin if we don't be as responsible as we need to be. So the enemy can entice people to use that, get you drunk. If you know that's a weakness, get you drunk and take advantage of you. You see it in the case of Lot and his daughters, right? But next thing I want to just shed a little light on, we probably might take it on another day, is King Solomon came out of this relationship, right? And we talk about open doors to generational curses. This is a door David opened here by having this adultery and producing this child from this adulterous relationship. God still used him to do big things. But who was King Solomon? How many wives he had and how many concubines he had? You see, this opened a door to sexual promiscuity right here, right? This opened a door to sexual promiscuity, which we might deal with. And why King Solomon, you think King Solomon had the need for 700 wives plus 300 concubines? There's 1,000 women, man. Any man, it's you see, which could start it from this door that the father opened here when he indulged in this affair with this married woman. He opened a door of sexual promiscuity. And that's the thing we bring down King Solomon. After all the great things God chose him to do, that's the thing to bring it down. But we could go back even further and show how this door was opened further back before David. And that's why David had the need, and David had the enemy could easily entice him to take a next man's wife. The door was opened way before David's time. And we could take on that another day. But I'm just showing you, it's back to these generational curses that could plague our life for generation and cause us to do some crazy stuff. And when we're looking at people and saying, oh, this, oh, he's a womanizer, he's this, I'm not giving no one excuses. I'm just showing you biblically how these doors open And it's easy because the devil have the right now, because this door is open, to tempt you and make you do these things that you're kind of weak towards it because they got it right, guys? But I'm gonna leave it there. Renita, good morning. How are you doing? But we're gonna leave it there, guys. But I want to show you, just wrap up this whole thing on this little piece about alcoholism, and then we open the gateway to go into probably something else next week. But I want to say something. Next week I'm going to be traveling. So on Monday, I'll be if I do come on Monday, it's going to be off my regular scheduled time because I might be flying at this time on Monday morning. I might be flying. I got to go out of town, so I'll be flying at the time. So if I do something Monday, probably it's a little before when I'm at the airport, or probably after when I get back. I don't know. But it would not be at my regular scheduled time if I do get the time to do something on Monday. But until then, guys, have a great weekend, guys, and we'll talk again, if not on Monday, next Wednesday. All right. Goodbye.